Well, they get the job done against the New York Islanders. 4-1 victory for the Edmonton Oilers tonight. First win at Rogers Place for the Orange and Blue. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Oil Stream Postgame Show. I almost said the old name of the Postgame Show. Right here on Edmonton Sports Talk, Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage with us. YouTube Trev holding things down back at the EST studios. And Gager and I both have dogs with us. Mine is annoying as hell. Yours seems lovable and in a good mood. Where's yours? Oh, there he is.
He's right here. You can,
yeah.
There he is.
Mine's right here. Look at this. Come here. Look at this little gremlin. She wants to do work today.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Let's go sit
I can't
down.
pick mine up. He's too heavy.
But, no, this one's a cuddle monster. Good vibes all around, Gager.
Yeah,
good
happy
vibes.
For the win. They're just happy for the win.
Chris Noblock has his first victory as an NHL head coach officially. I know he was in as an interim head coach for 6 games briefly with the New York Rangers, but that one's for the record books is Chris Noblock has win at number 1 in game number 1 as head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. Hit us up in the text line if you're listening on your way home from the game. What'd you think? Did you like what you saw? Obviously, the result is what everybody wanted, especially those that are fans of the team. And 780-218-9999 is the number. And if you want to get in on the nasty chat, if you're watching on YouTube, drop us a line as well. Drop us a thumbs up if you're watching, as we appreciate that. Certainly, let's go through the scoring summary and game stats from the Oilers' 4-1 victory over the New York Islanders, and then we'll get to Gager's breakdown of the win tonight. Matt Barzal opened up the scoring just 40 seconds in on the third shot of the night for the Islanders. Couple of saves from Skinner before that, and a pinch from Pulock, and then Horvat makes a nice pass on the one-timer to Barzal. He beats Stuart Skinner 1-0, 40 seconds in on Barzal's third of the year. Draisaitl would tie it up. Leon Draisaitl has his 6th. Great effort from him. He was flying in that first period. Kudos to Leon Draisaitl. Darnell Nurse picking up the assist at 14-17 on the snapshot that goes far side blocker on Ilya Sorokin. No scoring in the second period. In the third, on the power play, Zach Hyman's got his 8th of the year from Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. That's a big boy goal there at a timely point in the game as well. 2-1 Oilers. And then Connor McDavid at 9:33, so not long after the Hyman goal, would extend the lead to 3-1. On the power play as well. Kind of a weird one, just a harmless looking shot, and then it trickles through Sorokin, and it doesn't matter because it went in, and McDavid snaps the scoring slump. And then Evander Kane into the empty net from Leon Draisaitl, making it 4-1 at 17:33. That's a shorty as well. The Oilers, 4-1 winners over the Islanders. Shots 33-32 in favor of New York. The Oilers win the faceoff battle 54.5% to 45.5%. The power play 2 for 2. And Gager, the PK, 3 for 3. Very nice. Hits 29-25 in favor of Edmonton. Block shots 21 for the Islanders to 12 for the Oilers. All right, Joaquin Gage, what do you make of what we saw tonight? How much of it was the coach's bump? What did you like structurally? Give us your synopsis of the game.
What did I like? I liked the response after allowing a goal in the first minute. I wasn't in the building, Tommy, but I could feel the air let out at that point with not only allowing the goal, but the type of goal that was scored, right? A guy, one of the most dangerous hockey players in the league, alone in the slot, losing kind of the battle on the boards, and just ripping a puck home. And though to see the reaction, and I think I have to give it to Leon Draisaitl. I haven't liked his body language over the last little bit, even within the win. Seeing him fan on a one-timer or not scoring, he had his head slumped. I just think as a leader, you can't show that much, especially with the team going through what the Oilers were going through tonight. Completely different story, right? Did I like the penalty he took? No, but sometimes, like you look at Evander Kane, for him to be successful and to be effective, he has to play on that edge, and I think Leon Draisaitl has to play on that edge as well to have a little bit of that mean on, and
Mm-hmm.
a little hate. That always helps a little bit. I think the Oilers have been, lack of a better term, too nice to a point. Like the other team has not hated playing against the Oilers. When do you see guys mad at other players? I alluded to that at the beginning with Holloway's play. Let's hope he's okay. But just what did Coach Woodcroft like playing in the other team's equipment?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great thing to say, because that's annoying. I don't like anyone playing in my equipment, Tommy. So no, I liked the response. The physical play I thought could have been ramped up a little bit more. What I really liked was the third period puck pursuit in the offensive zone. I thought they were working just as hard with the puck as without it. Strong play within the crease. I liked when they didn't have anything else. Pucks were getting deep. It wasn't trying to do too much with it. Shots from anywhere, always a good solution. Overall, like it was two teams really gripping sticks hard in that first 40 minutes, just kind of waiting for something to happen. It did for the Oilers. Terrible penalty by Holmstrom there, kicking the feet out of Kulak.
Right.
Those are the ones that you really want to make a team pay for when they do take those penalties, Tommy. And they did. We saw the power play go to work. Connor McDavid's really struggling now. So I know Jack Michaels said what a deft play, a pass. I'm pretty sure he was trying to bank it off Sorokin at that point when Leon put it wide.
Mm-hmm.
And then his on the goal, that was just a pinball going through anyone. But, he kept working through it. Sometimes you need those bounces. They went the Oilers' way tonight. Great win for Noblock. And yeah, look what I said at the beginning of the show, right? Two's a streak. Awesome.
Two's a streak. You did say it on Game Changers earlier. Stu Skinner tonight. I liked his game. He seemed calm, cool, collected. Didn't get frazzled by that first goal. Is this a guy starting to find a little bit of confidence? Gage, are you reading that from his body language? Are you seeing anything that's lending to him starting to feel good about what he's doing out there right now?
What I loved about Stuart Skinner's game today, more than last game, even in the win, was how he was taking his ice back when the Islanders had certain plays. Like you'd see the play go from low to high or cross ice. He would start kind of more in the blue paint, but you watch a lot of his saves in that third period, Tommy, and he's moving that extra foot and a half out to the top of the crease, making himself even bigger. That there was one little package they showed his saves, and you could really see how he was just taking everything back at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Great job. That's not easy to teach, because you're just trying to especially if things haven't gone well for a goalie, you just try to get set. But he was actually getting, like I said, he's an unbelievable positional goaltender.
Mm-hmm.
There's a huge foundation that he can rely on when things aren't going well. And I think we saw a little bit of that tonight, where he can, his positional play is just so solid, and his rebound control was great. I thought it was a great game by Stu Skinner.
Yeah. Gager, that sequence that he had after they scored the second goal, where he stopped, I think he made 3 saves, like back to back to back. And then there was a face-off, and then another big save right after the face-off. So he made 4 really nice clutch saves there. And I was like, they need that, because as soon as I could, when the Islanders were pushing and trying to get that response, and I could hear Al Stafford reading the scoring summary on the last goal, and I'm like, oh, this is the worst when they get scored on while the announcement for the last goal is going out. And he made 3 big stops there, and I was like, that is what they need consistently, and I thought that was a good sign from Stuart Skinner. So
that was great. It's got to be a whole team effort. I think those moments after a goal for or against are huge. I liked how Noblock and implemented some of his players that we normally wouldn't see, especially at that time of the game, right? So we saw some Hamlin, we saw uh, other players that in the past few games we normally wouldn't see guys in the fourth line starting after a goal like that. To get guys like Lavoie out there after a goal. I know that there was some chances against, but here is the kind of new coach getting everyone involved, feeling part of the team. If you can get to a point where you're comfortable in play and having those guys out on the ice in crucial parts in the third period, up a goal or up 2 goals, that makes everyone feel better about themselves, right? So I like the implementation of Hamlin and Lavoie in those situations.
To your point, Gager, Luke texts in the nasty chat, says, great to see no forwards over 20 minutes and top 4D with equal ice time. Great deployment of players by Noblock. And just going over the stats from tonight, who led the team in time on ice? You got Hyman at 18:20, Draisaitl 18:59, and then Kane at 18:33, Nugent Hopkins 17:23, McDavid 19:47. On the defensive side of things, 21:44 for Bouchard, 22:22 for CC, 21:19 for Ekholm, and 21:38 for Nurse. That's pretty even.
I mean, I had my reservations about Paul Coffey because he said he was. There's a joke here. Do we have time for a little joke? It was really funny. I don't know if I've said this yet, but Struds being Struddy after Charlie Huddy was inducted into the Hall of Fame there with the Oilers, and there was mention of Huddy's plus 62, and so Struddy was actually giving it to Koff because we were all sitting on the bench, and so he was giving it to Koff. He goes, plus 62. What happened, Koff? What were you that year? Coffee is one of the funniest guys ever. He turns around and says, well, Charlie's always up in the play all the time. I was taking the 2-on-1s back every shift. And when he'd see that, he would just jump in the bench when he'd see me taking the 2-on-1, which is complete horse crap.
Yeah, it is.
It was great. Koff saying that Charlie's the offensive guy and he was the stay at home. It was pretty funny. But yeah, man, I mean, this is what they need. Yeah. Especially a team, don't you think, Tommy? A team that wants to go far. Like, I know I don't want to look too far ahead, but a team that wants to have that steady game throughout the regular season, ratcheting it up when it gets to playoffs. You're going to need everyone contributing and get to a point where you can rely on everyone feeling part of something. I think that, unfortunately, I think Coach Woodcroft lost a little bit of that, and what we saw was the crutch that's been used by very experienced coaches, NHL
every
coaches.
one of them.
Every single guy seems to fall back on that Connor and Leon, and I think what we saw tonight was the Oilers superstars just playing the right way, not trying to do it all themselves, realizing that they can rely on. It's just as important for Connor and Leon to see a fourth line go out there, have a good shift, create the forecheck, get some juice from it as they do it, right? Like, so they feel like, okay, those guys are in it. I got just everyone feeling part of it. That's the important thing, because I think at the end of the year, when you see the guy that raised the silver chalice, they're all part of it. And in everyone's acceptance speech at the end of the year, it's like, we all bought in, we all did everything together. There's all this we stuff, right? So baby steps. Let's take baby steps here, but that's a step in the right direction for sure.
780-218-9999. As Gager said, a step in the right direction for the Oilers. Interesting text here from Matt. I didn't catch this. I was watching the broadcast when I got home to set up the home studio. This says, hey guys, I don't want to complain after a win because I thought the team played better tonight. But did you see Connor and Leon after the game? Both of them looked like they had lost the game. Come on, boys. You both had multi-point nights and got a win. Put a smile on. That's from Matt. I didn't catch that. But If that is the case, and it didn't look like they were overzealous and joyous in the victory, probably is, I'm assuming, Gager, the guilt of where they're at and what the situation is right now, how they cost two guys their jobs. I feel like that's probably why they wouldn't be super excited, and maybe they did have bad body language. But again, to Matt, I didn't see it. I didn't see it. I don't know if you caught it, Gager.
No, I didn't. But those guys, they don't really show a lot. I'm always critical about them not showing emotion when they score, right?
Right.
Connor scores that goal. He should be. I don't care if he didn't go through the whole team twice. Like, it's still a goal. And
Mm-hmm.
show some emotion, be like Ovechkin's every goal he scores seems like his first one. There's no, I think that gives juice to your team when you give that. And look, they've gone through the ringer here.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the game, if they don't want to celebrate that win, I get it. It's their first win at home, second win in Edmonton, I guess. But
Right.
I'm sure, who was it? Matt that wrote that?
Matt texted
Matt?
it. Yep.
Matt, if we could go into the dressing room and see them once they go in, there's some high fives and smiles, and you'd see a different side of them there. That's partly because, look, the things haven't gone great, and they don't want to be. They want to think that they've won the cup in that game. There's still a ton of work to do, and like you said, Tommy, there's probably a little bit of coaching firing remorse there.
Yeah.
That why couldn't we just do this from the beginning of the season? What the heck were we thinking about?
Yeah. Well, The Apprentice texts in. Great alias, by the way. Chris Noblock, winningest coach in Oilers history. Obviously in jest. The Apprentice, great name. I'm adding it into our contacts list. So when he texts in again, we'll get to those. Well played. Nolan texts in and says, I love how engaged Chris seemed with every single player on the bench. Seemed to be talking to everyone. I noticed a little bit of that. I was kind of watching him from the press box, and he seemed to be moving up and down the bench quite a bit, having conversations. I think Dustin Schwartz and Mark Stewart were on headset with one another, because the coach's booth is behind me from the eye in the sky vantage point. And then I think that was different, because usually I don't think that's the case. So maybe a few different wrinkles already in game one with Chris Knobloch at the helm. So that's interesting. Kenworth Kelly says, great effort by Dustin Schwartz tonight. It shouldn't go unnoticed. A bunch of smiling emojis there from Kenworth Kelly. Please define big boy goal. Twitter Mary asked that. That was a big boy goal, that power play goal. Timely, quick thinking, and Zach Hyman was in the blue paint, and I think that was a big boy goal. Is that a fair assessment? What do you think, Gabriel?
And anytime, like Hyman's establishing his presence in the hard areas to score, and that takes guts to get in there, because you're going to get, especially on the power play, you're going to get a couple extra whacks. I mean, it's not 20 years ago or whatever, but it's big boy hockey, Tommy. It's big boy. You're going there to pay a price, out battle possibly two guys, which he did, and get positioned to score that goal. Hyman really has, I mean, obviously, in seeing what he's done over the last couple games, his game seems to be coming back, which is good. They're going to need that. I love that line. I think it was just physically intimidating that you had to go up against those guys, right? And the way that they were pursuing the puck, finishing checks. I'd like to see that throughout the whole lineup, though.
Yeah,
Tommy, I believe it's the 6th when the Hurricanes come to town. When the Hurricanes play, and I know it hasn't been going great for them, but you can't tell one line from the next,
right?
Because they all play the exact same way. And I think for the Oilers to be successful, they need a little bit more of that in their identity. They can't have the skilled line that's just going to try to dipsy doodle and beat you with skill, and then the hard nosed line. Like, everyone has to play the same way. and I think that results in way more success than everyone kind of not on the same page.
780-218-9999. I'm going to go into the nasty chat here, Gager. I'm going to float this one from Russell to you. I think I know where you're going to go with your answer on this, but Russell texts in and says, hey guys, I don't know if this has been addressed already, but do we know if maybe they did want Woody fired now or Manson, maybe because they couldn't get the system properly or didn't want to buy in? For me, it's straight up no. I don't think so, Russell, but I'll let Gager handle that one.
I have a hard time thinking that time. All the dressing rooms and all the leagues and all the coaches that I've had, I guess there was one that was kind of nuts, but even then, we still kind of bought into his philosophy and his system because you really have to. He's just as much part of the team as the players, right? You all have to kind of get on the same page. So, and I have to think Connor's telling the truth when he says he was surprised, and that he didn't think that this was coming. I didn't think that this would come just with looking at the results that Woodcroft had. But like I said, I do understand it because the Oilers are in a window to win. You know, this is it's a catastrophe to a season if these guys don't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But what I think if you were in that dressing room now, there's finishing top of the division was probably the talk at the coaches or the captain skates. But now it's like, hey, let's just get in, because what we've seen over the last few years is kind of that lower seed getting hot, playing the right way at the right time, and going on a run. And there's so much parity in this league, and that's kind of one of the reasons that the Oilers probably won't finish first in the Pacific, because just teams are too good now. It's too much ground to make up. But once you're in, every team's dangerous.
780-218-9999. If you got a question for Gager, float it to us, or in the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. The Oilers win 4-1 over the New York Islanders in the Chris Noblock era. So the new coach, 1-0 thus far. Paul Coffey also behind the bench as well. The Oilers now 4-9-1 on the season. They put together back-to-back wins. Gager calls it a streak. I love it. And they also hand the Islanders their 5th consecutive loss. Let's go to Dirty Curdy's breakdown from tonight. Dirty Curdy texts in, says, nervous moments early with usual D-zone errors. This game looked like the Oilers' kryptonite, but credit to Leon for straightening out his game after some iffy turnovers and a selfish penalty. Connor's starting to finally find his mojo again, 2 in a row where Skinner is making the timely save. See 1-0 post that he got a piece of. Solid win. Hopefully not the coach's bump. Congrats, Nobby. Cough with the bling behind the bench. That from Dirty Curdy. The really quickly, the Draisaitl tripping penalty where he cross-checked the back of Bo Horvat's legs. Does that get looked at, do you think, Gager?
Oh, no, I don't think so. Yeah, if it was a two-hander, maybe. But yeah, it was. I don't think so. Okay. One thing about Draisaitl that I have to come, because I was yelling at the screen, not for the penalty, but I believe it was the first shift when he came in and kind of tried to feather a pass through a guy over to the other side and gave the puck away. They came back and they scored a goal. And we saw the change. The next time, even on the goal, if this was a few games ago, Tommy, you would have seen a pass across at that point because he did have someone on the other side. But he's just completely abandoned all thinking, I'm just going to bowl this thing in and take it to the net and see what happens. And you could see that subtle change seemed like it fired him up, obviously getting a goal. So I like to see that with Draisaitl. Again, I don't like the penalty, but yeah, I think he does need to play on an edge.
I appreciate the fire. I just didn't like the decision-making there to cross-check a Bo Horvat in the back of the legs. He did play well. His motor was running, and that was good to see tonight, and he scored a really nice goal. 4-point night for Leon Draisaitl, by the way. A goal and 3 assists, so good to see for number 29 in orange and blue. Some text to get to now. This one says, overall, good grinded out effort from the Oil. I think the overall comeback and close game did more for the confidence than a blowout. Only comment would say is on the Islanders' goal. Ekholm really had 2 times to try and clear, but it could not, and that cost them the goal in the first. On that goal, Gager, we were looking at it in the press box, and we're like, good pinch by, I can't remember if it was Dobson or Pulak on that one, but good pinch. Islanders D-man wins the battle, and one pass, bang, bang, it's in the back of your net. How would you assess the goal against, the lone blip on the radar, if you will, tonight?
Well, it was the things that we've been seeing up to this point, right? Like Leon trying to do too much in the offensive zone, goes back the other way, they had the puck down low, lost the puck, tried to ring it around, got into a 1v1 battle on the boards. Ekholm loses it, and a great pass and a great shot by a great player. There's always a series of errors leading up to that point. Leon shoots that puck, either it goes in or you get a second chance opportunity, or Sorokin probably freezes it and you get an offensive zone faceoff instead of trying to do a little bit too much. I think I've always liked if you can get the puck into the house, it's going to be a shot. And if everyone on the ice knows that, then they can all act accordingly. Like somebody going to the net, looking for those second chance opportunities, right? It clarifies a few things. Of course, anyone on their backhand at that point, you want it to be Leon Draisaitl with how deft he is with that pancake flipper or burger flipper. Sorry,
burger flipper. It was good,
but no, like there's a sequence of errors that are easily correctable, and I think that's why we saw the look on Woodcroft's face for so long, is all these little things. And Connor saying we're death by 1,000 cuts. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah,
those little plays all over the ice that are leading to goals. It's not just the last mistake that you see. There's usually 2 or 3 before that are making the difference. And tonight we saw way better puck management.
Yes,
and we saw a team more dedicated to playing defense in the offensive zone and not allowing the Islanders to come out clean every single time.
Starvin Buffalo in the nasty chat says, nice to see a game where our goalie was ready to play. Yes, that's 2 solid games for Stuart Skinner for sure. M. Materi says, Paul Coffey is the unknown. He could turn out to be a huge addition, but hard to say. I mean,
it's a long ways to go.
Yeah,
there's going to be times when he's going to learn some stuff.
Yeah,
he's going to be able to input a lot of value. But again, this is one game, step in the right direction, of course. But they got some tough games coming up. It's good that they have a good feeling going into this. This could, who knows? Maybe this next 10-game segment can look well. It's already looking a lot better than the first.
Yeah. Wow. 2 wins in a row for the Oilers, 4-1 tonight over the New York Islanders. Calgary Glenn, Texas says, overall, a much better team defensive game. Didn't give many dangerous chances against, didn't generate too much 5-on-5, but the power play came through to win the game. If the team played like this for Woody, he'd still be the Oilers coach. Calgary Glenn, I agree with you. On the defensive side of things, Gager, I'm not going to critique because they won all that much, but did it seem, maybe in the first period too, that the Oilers defensively and even the blue liners were giving a lot of space to the Islanders?
Man, I sent the text.
That's right. Yeah.
It was a very timid beginning of the game. They were sitting back, like giving it. I thought, what are they on the power play? There was a guy on the wall, and you just saw everyone just sink back into the house and not being proactive. Like a lot of times with zone coverages too, you're reading off the first defender against the guy with the puck, right? So is he attacking? I have to get myself in this position to support. Where are their players? So you're reading a lot off of that first defender sometimes. In that case, everyone's looking at everyone else. Well, what are we doing? You're giving the Islanders, they ironed it out later.
Yeah.
They were way quicker to eliminate time and space. That was the best game I've seen them do that. Aside from that, probably first 10, 12 minutes of limiting time and space of the Islanders, and getting in their face, making them do something that they didn't want to do. But yeah, that's something that we've seen over the past little bit, just allowing teams to feel comfortable with the puck. Like, there's no way a guy should be sitting with his back against the boards with no one on him,
right,
and able to survey and do some things. You've got to force him into a position where he has to make a decision and do something with the puck, or take the puck away and get it out of your zone.
A text comes in from Grizz, says, is this the first win in years where the lines have not been thrown in the blender? McLellan, Tippett, and Woodcroft would never keep lines together for more than 10 minutes. Love to see it. From the Grizz, Coach Mike says, ice time pretty evenly distributed. Good goaltending, big boys on the score sheet, and the team getting the bounces usually results in a win. Hope this continues. Coach Mike, yeah, absolutely. That was a big win and very thorough, as Gage has been outlining. Lieutenant Eric says, hello, everyone. Hello, LTE. Probably getting settled into bed for a big show tomorrow right here on EST. This one says, never doubted him. That was from Rip City Step. This one from AZ says, Tommy, you've been around for a lot of these coaching changes. How much do you think Noblock left his stamp on his first game, or is it more the players woke up because a great coach was let go after their mistakes? Yeah, Gager, correct me if you think I'm not right on anything here, but I think with Noblock, like we saw the text earlier talking about the lines and sticking with them. I think that was the Grizz who sent that in. That is a difference. That is a bit of a stamp from Noblock today. It seems pretty straightforward by just doing that, because Woodcroft would get the bingo balls out pretty quickly. Tippett did that. McLellan would do that. So that's a fair point. But to me, it seems like that small tweak, yes, distribution of the minutes and the lines being even and all that, like, that's fair. That's a bit of a stamp. But I also think, I would lean more so to the players putting the onus on themselves after everything that's happened, and them taking they definitely needed to take heat for their coaches firing. And I think that, I would lean more so to that over the small tweaks that Noblock said. I don't know where you come out on that, Gager.
Yeah, I have to think it would be extremely difficult for a guy that's been here for less than 24 hours, basically, to implement a new full system.
Mm-hmm.
He even said it himself, I think, this morning, where there'll be subtle tweaks, but it's going to take time to start implementing what I think will be required to make the Oilers successful. So you'll see subtle little changes in that. But I think that is, obviously, he sat down with his coaching staff and has explained what he would like to see, because that's the amount of times you see his arm around guys, talking to them on the bench, and even coffee for that matter. Like, there was a lot of communication between coach and player in tonight's game that you didn't see before. Not that it was needed so much, because there was already a prior relationship, but it's nice to see a guy really engaged with his players early, trying to get his message across, and not just kind of just sitting back and trying to take the game in and do something from there. He was very proactive, a lot like the Oilers forecheck tonight. So maybe that's the step in the right direction for Coach Noblock.
Dan Texan says, having spent a month away from home, dog sitting for multiple friends, the background noises for Tommy, I'm assuming, made me laugh. Dan, she's right here. She won't go away. And this is Penny, and I'm babysitting her for the next few days, I think. She's my parents' dog. You've got your pup there too as well, Gager. Is he still
Yeah,
kicking around?
he just took off. He had
Okay.
enough of me. I stopped scratching his ears. So after that, he's done.
Yeah, she keeps jumping up on me. And my mom texted in. She said, give her a bone. Give her a bone. That's what Eva G would say. And yeah, she's been pretty good. So I'll have to walk her after the show's over. But yes, Dan, that's puppy duty for both of us as we roll along here on the Oil Stream postgame show. This text says Leon Draisaitl just passed Paul Coffey with his 24th 4-point for possession of 6th in franchise history. That's from Bison Mask Guy. Draisaitl and McDavid are going to keep knocking down some records in Oilers history and climbing the charts basically. And last year, especially, man, seemed like every second or third night we were talking about a new accomplishment from those two. So a little bit slower going this year, but they will continue to do that. This text from Big Uke says, was nice to see Connor get one. Was nice to see that pass from Leon make it through. Those haven't been getting through much this year. Another text said, guys, why did Skinner not get an assist on the third goal? Did you notice that one, Gager?
I'd have to go back and look. Usually I know those types of things. Like
it was the
all
McDavid goal.
I'm all about offensive goaltending. But no, I didn't see that.
Didn't you pick up an assist? You got a point in your first NHL game.
Yeah, I think I got a couple points in the NHL. I think I got 3 total.
Did you play the puck a lot? Like, did you handle it quite a bit?
I went out and stopped it a lot, sometimes too much. But no, I didn't. I wasn't Mike Smith, if that's what you're asking.
Nah, nobody's Mike Smith.
Nobody's
Only Mike Smith is Mike Smith. Text says, was that a defensive shutdown in the third? Weird. Yeah, it was.
I don't know if it was. I think it was two teams kind of playing both defensively, waiting for a chance to pounce, and the Oilers took advantage on the power play.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's go to the nasty chat. Take a look here. This one says, Islanders, while defensively capable, are an offensively challenged team with Barzal and Brock Nelson. Yeah, I saw the Paul Mary. Did he play today? Yeah, he did play today. There's some questions whether or not he was going to be good to go. Jen says, let the streak continue. Or does that say, let the steak continue? If you know, you know. Is that an inside joke that I'm missing? Maybe it is. Mark says, 6 points out of a wild card spot, boys. Making up ground. This text says, how is coaching in the AHL different or similar to the show? More staff to help, more tech. As someone who is, played in both of those leagues, Gager, what would you say to that texter?
It's really difficult because there's a revolving door on the players that you use. There's, depending on the structure, like some American Hockey League teams, I don't know if there's any like that, but sometimes they're dual affiliated. So you'd have 2 big clubs, both wanting usually their top draft picks to play. So it's hard because sometimes you see guys getting called up that might not even be the best player on your team at that point, but where they were drafted or sometimes dictates on call-ups at that point. So you, as a coach, you have to manage those emotions of guys not wanting, well, I mean, I've got 8 points in 6 games and they're calling this guy up that's not even playing, and you have to, you're almost a therapist at certain points too, right? So very, very different from being an NHL coach, because then of course you're also trying to implement the same types of systems that the big club's doing. So when it's more plug and play if and when guys get called up too, right? So there's a lot of outside influences to your coaching that affect the way you coach in the American League opposed to the NHL.
Good answer, Gager. I knew you were the right guy for that one. Another text comes in for you specifically from Brad from Crossfield. Says, question for Gager: does that shirt feel as silky smooth as it looks, Joaquin?
Oh yeah, this is this shirt is dynamite. A lot like the Oilers win tonight. It's feeling good.
Feeling good, looking
Yeah,
good, buddy.
good old Le Chateau back in the 90s. Still
Hey,
fun.
they had good stuff. They really did. This one says, "Hey boys, decent game, but still tie game 5-on-5." Just saying, would you say anything to the 5-on-5 tonight, Gage, or would you be knocking it, or did you see some things that you liked about it? I know the results, like that texter pointed out, not necessarily tilting heavily in favor of the Oilers, but 5-on-5. Did you notice anything?
More so, I wasn't looking too much on the Oilers' offensive side. I was looking at the structure of their game to limit the other team's chances 5-on-5, not giving up too much, not getting to a point where we got to score. That was a very patient game. I think. Was it the most exciting game to watch? No,
Definitely not.
But not the game we wanted, but the game we needed. I think is what you can say to play that type of style that's going to be required. Look, that's two really good, solid games of not allowing a lot of chances, and when chances did come, Skinner was there. So, no, I although it wasn't exciting, I liked watching that just because of the patience, and I think that's a little bit of the maturity of the Oilers, and of course I love the fact that that more guys were involved in this game, Tommy.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of it as well.
Distribution of minutes a little more even. That was good to see. And the result is a 4-1 Oilers victory. Tom Gazzola, Joaquin Gage with you. YouTube Trev holding things down back at the EST studios at HQ. And Trev will have audio and video from the locker room and the Hall of Fame room where Chris Noblock will discuss his team's first victory under his helm. And I do have a text that I want to get to, 780 218-9999 comes in from Norm. It's for you, Gager.
In a combine?
This no, not Norm in a combine, just Norm. Okay. Norm in a combine, I think, texted or tweeted me earlier saying, "Can we start the wave?" And I'm not even going to answer.
Oh my God, Norm!
No, Norm in a combine. No,
no.
It's a niche. I'm just kidding. Do whatever you want. You pay for tickets. Go have fun. But it seems to bring some bad luck to the Oilers when the wave starts prematurely. Anyway, this Norm texts in and says, "Hey guys, Gager, I'd like to get your thoughts first on the goaltending. When do they give the kid a start? And do you think Jack stays in Bakersfield the rest of the year or gets traded? Tom, your thoughts too, please. Thanks, from Norm."
Oh boy, a good question. Do I think I'll start with the latter part? Jack Campbell? No, I don't think this is the last we'll see of Jack Campbell. He has some work to do. The American League is almost more difficult to play in some respects because.
And why is that, Gager? For those that haven't,
you're younger guys, not NHLers. I would equate it to college basketball. There's more mistakes, right? Aside from the NBA, and like they miss shots, but there's still a lot of really good, talented guys that can rip the biscuit too, right? So. Things are happening probably a lot different than what you're used to. It's going to, like, he's been in the NHL for a while here. It's going to take a little bit of time to change, but I think that will help Jack Campbell, especially going down there. Hopefully he can find something that can get his game back to a proper level. I mean, really, Tommy, I know he did look good in certain spots this year. He had some good moments. He just couldn't a lot like the Oilers do it for the full 60. With Calvin Pickard, I wouldn't mind throwing him a bone here. Do I think it's going to happen? Probably not, for the reasons that I alluded to at the beginning in the pregame show, where the schedule is lined up for Stuart Skinner to just roll these next 6 games. Like, there's a day off, 2 days off in between. He can get tons of rest, get focused for the next game. I mean, their first back-to-back isn't until the end of December, isn't it, Tommy? Something like that.
So, yeah, December 22nd, 23rd, I believe.
You don't want to wait. You don't want to wait that long and let Pickard get in there. Maybe that's the time when Campbell comes back and then you play him in there after he's played a lot. But I think at least till the end of November, I think this is, unless something really bad happens,
Right.
you're going to see Stuart Skinner in that.
A couple of people pointing out via the nasty chat that the kid, Calvin Pickard, is 31. So, yes, he's been around for a while. But I was just reading the text there. And then this one's kind of funny. Someone wants to know if you ever shopped at Big Steel back in the day, Gager.
Big Steel. What was Big Steel?
Classic mall suit store. That's from JJ Karan in the nasty chat.
I might have ducked my head in there, maybe. I don't know. Probably. There's not many places I didn't go back in the day, Tommy.
You're a man about town. You still are. You still are. Okay, this one says, first time I've been able to text in live since the firing. You could see in Woody's post game in Seattle that he knew he was done. Looked like he almost teared up. That's from Matt Hatter. Yeah, I think he knew the writing was on the wall. That's too bad. Another text says, hey guys, maybe it's just me, but was there a notable uptick in communication both on the bench and on the ice? Seems like they were more willing to talk to each other tonight. How big of a difference can that make? That's from Big Dave. We did notice that, and you outlined it a little bit, Gager, but just the fact that they're doing it and the difference that it can make. What would you say to that for Big Dave?
It looked like there was a subtle change after probably 6 minutes in, because that's when you started seeing, especially coming in through the neutral zone into the D zone, the recognition of who's taking who, right?
Mm-hmm.
You could see defensemen pointing, and you could actually hear it a little bit more.
Yes, I noticed that.
And I've been saying this for the first month. It looks like no one's talking on the ice, which is just absolutely crazy. So
right.
Maybe with all the talk on the bench, probably, there's new coaches. There's probably the coach has never been that vocal on the bench tonight. So, and maybe that filtered into the ice, because that's one of the crucial components to any game, is that communication in the. I think it's actually gotten better these last two games, because there was a point against Seattle, Tommy, where I think it was the second period, where there was a double reverse.
Mm-hmm.
And for people, like, a reverse is when you come into your own zone, maybe you're getting pressured, you yell reverse, the defenseman puts it back the other way, and your partner comes in and scoops up that puck. You obviously need communication for that. Goalie's usually telling you, your partner's saying something. But there was an actual double reverse. So there was 2 forecheckers. There was one reverse to the one guy. I think it was McLeod. McLeod was getting told another reverse, and then I think it was Ekholm that came in and picked it up on the second time. That just shows me that there's way, way better communication in the defensive zone.
That's good to see. Finally. This one from SJ, not in the Kootenai, says, maybe after all the drama, a total snooze fest wasn't terrible. Yeah, that's a good point, SJ. Another text from Matt says, did Holloway ever come back into the game? I don't believe so. I think he missed the third period. Hopefully there might be an update from Chris Noblock during his presser tonight. YouTube, Trev, how are we doing over there? Is there any updates on post-game audio and video yet?
Yeah, I don't know. They're taking their sweet time tonight. I don't know if they're celebrating this big dub with the new coach or something, but it's taking a little longer than usual. So I'm still trying to find it. As soon as I get it, it'll be on the stream in no time. Okay, boys and girls?
Love it. Love the fire. I'm just hoping that Penny doesn't drop a chocolate hot dog, because she's getting antsy over there. Taco Texan says, hey, boys, nice win tonight. Even though our bottom 6 have played well at times this season, I think it's important to note that a number of these guys are not quite NHL ready yet. We have Lavoie, Hamblin, and to a lesser extent, Holloway. I'm not bashing on these guys, but we can't expect these guys to provide that much needed depth scoring that we desperately need. I know they're temporary due to injuries, but until we have a stronger bottom 6, we will struggle to go anywhere. Don't get me started on Brown. Brown did skate today, Gager, and I actually thought that the Hamblin, Ryan, Lavoie line had a couple of good shifts tonight.
They did. They got some offensive zone time. Were physical. It's tough to say you want. Of course, you want contributions throughout the lineup, right? Mm-hmm. If those guys can get out there and provide you good minutes against top opposition players, I think that is even more important than contributing. I'm just talking regular season here,
Right.
Tommy, a little
Right.
bit, to build that confidence. It's gonna go eventually. Guys like Lavoie, like he's a shooter, right? There was a few moments where he gets that puck, he's ripping it, right? Which I love. I love seeing that. So I think it'll happen for him. But I did like their tenacity. They played very simple, didn't try to make anything fancy. And I think that's the most important thing for this team, is having a group that can be implemented throughout the game and not think that we're in big trouble.
Couple of texts via the nasty chat. One says Serenity now. That's from Wreckage 504. Another one says from Sean, finally a game worth staying up for, all the way from the Hammer. Sean, have fun at Grey Cup. That's going to be a great time. If you're going to any of the parties, that'll be super, super fun. It always is. Go see Jerry Haraxi and the whole crew down at the Spirit of Edmonton. Those are fantastic parties. A lot of people saying coffee showing off that bling. Eric says team figured it out. One game too late and cost two guys their jobs. Let's hope this all pans out and the Oilers can lift a cup. Yeah, long way to go, like you said, Gager, before we can start talking about that. This one says, did you see Bouchard bend his knees tonight, move his feet on plays today? What a coffee effect. Bouchard had a good game. Too many times this year, Gager, we've been talking about how poorly he's played or the mistakes that have cost the Oilers, and I thought he was solid, and this is one of the few ones where we're like, boy, I didn't really see him make a lot of 10 bell errors. Is that fair?
Yeah, there was one moment that I saw that he was a little lackadaisical. It was in the second period. He got the puck on the wall, tried to do the triangle pass instead of just bearing down, and tried to feather one in there. Got intercepted, and Skinner had to make it bounced into the slot, and Skinner had to make a good save. But other than, and I was doing my Bouch bashing there for a bit, but other than that, I found him to have his knees bent and getting up ice and moving, right? Like a lot of times, and you'll hear Struddy and stuff say this, like, move your feet right away. Don't just sit there and look, and because I found when Bouch gets the puck, sometimes he just sits there and surveys the whole situation. The NHL is too good. All your options are going to be taken away, or they're setting traps for you, and you're going to pass it tape to someone, right? When he gets on his horse, starts skating, brings guys to him, and then things can kind of open up. And we know how efficient he is with passing when he gets like that.
Right.
So move your feet, son. Move your feet. And the immortal words of Crash Davis, just don't think, meat, just throw.
Nicely done, Gager. Good reference. Text comes in, says, am I the only one who likes Desharnais making Hamblin jump to high-five him after a win? Yeah, that's pretty funny. I get a kick out of that. This one from Maddie39 says, ask Gager, why does Jack Campbell wear such small equipment? Does Campbell not see the benefits of wearing bigger equipment? And Gager, you and I have talked about that a little bit. He did make the switch in the offseason to bigger gear, right?
Yeah, he's I think it's Bauer, I think was what you said, Tommy. So it's he looks a little bit smaller. He did look bigger at the beginning of the year. It sometimes play makes you look a little bit smaller, but he did make the jump, got rid of the ancient chest protector. I did that at one point as well. It is a comfort thing. You feel, especially with the arm and body protectors, sometimes it moves in a way, and they're all slightly different, right? Finding the right one, getting it kind of broken into how you want it, does take some time. The way it moves when you when you go down, or when you're making certain saves or movement, sometimes makes you feel a little bit off,
right?
So I'm sure that was probably a chore for him to get used to. But once you become a little bit more confident with it, it can be used. Like Skinner uses his body as like one of the best in the NHL, right? He makes himself huge with that big chest protector and gets in that position. That's the one thing that Jack Campbell was doing at the beginning. He was getting himself in and making himself look big. Everyone was saying, "Gosh, he looks a lot bigger in there." But it is a comfort thing for most goalies. I'm glad Jack has made the switch because it'll help him.
Yep. Rough go in Abbotsford for Jack Campbell. We'll see what happens, but yeah. So.
I think he's in Calgary tomorrow night too, right?
Against the Wranglers. We'll see if he gets to start again, tries to bounce back, piece his game together. Tough go indeed, but there you go. Good question coming in there in regard to the equipment. Colorado Rusty says, I thought the Oilers used the boards so well tonight. Easy, simple chips up the boards onto each other's sticks definitely was talked about in the room. Yeah, much more efficient in their own zone. That's good to see. We'll see if that continues because they're going to need to continue with that and to make sure they're efficient in their own zone, not getting hemmed in. Although that pinch did cost them on that first goal today. It was a successful pinch by, I believe it was Pulock on that goal. But outside of that, they were pretty good. They were pretty good on the wall. It definitely was Pulock. All right, Gager. So this is a 4-1 win for the Oilers. They've got back-to-back 4-1 wins. They got one in Seattle the other day, and then they pull it off tonight against the Islanders. First win at Rogers Place, second home win of the season. Of course, the other one coming at Commonwealth. They get the Kraken again on Wednesday. I'm sure the Kraken are going to be pissed off about what happened on Saturday night. What do you anticipate from the Oilers? What will be the mantra from Chris Noblock, who will be able to have a full day of practice tomorrow with his new team? And what are you foreseeing for this big tilt on Wednesday night against Seattle?
Oh, for Coach Noblock, he's probably stay the course, right? Let's keep doing what's making us successful. And just what you alluded to, simple plays. You don't have to keep hitting home runs, right? Mm-hmm. Look for base hits. You still get around the bases to score. I think that should be the mantra of the Oilers right now. You're going to see a better Kraken team, and I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tommy, but Grubauer has struggled against the Oilers. He hasn't finished a lot of these games. They get to him early. So that's one thing I would be looking at for the Oilers is remember how you scored those goals in Seattle, right?
Greasy.
Just like when they get pucks towards the net and start cycling and get their second chance thing going, there's no team that's better in the NHL than the Oilers. But it doesn't have to be pretty. It just has to dribble across the line there. And net front presence, getting pucks through on the offensive side. On the D side, keep doing what you're doing. Make it difficult. When you don't have the puck, you hear coaches talk about staying above the puck, right? So they're on the defensive side of the puck. They've done a great job of the last few games of not allowing all these outnumbered situations, having numbers back, setting traps, getting stripping pucks, getting the puck back, going the other way. That's to me, that's the essence of the Oilers is when they can play like that, right? So try not to do too much. Keep playing the way you're doing it right now. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. To be in a 1-1 game for that long, that's a good hockey. That shows resilience, strength, and patience. Just keep the streak going, Tom.
Hey, I like it. I like how on Game Changers today you're like 2 is a streak. So here they are, 2-game winning streak. Gager, fantastic work, fantastic breakdown. Great to have you on, filling in for Cass as always. Look forward to catching up with you later in the week. Gager, thank you for everything tonight. Appreciate it, pal.
All right, buddy. Take care.
That is our game analyst, Joaquin Gage, helping us break down the Oilers' 4-1 victory over this, not the Seattle Kraken. They beat Seattle on Saturday 4-1. Over the New York Islanders, they'll look to beat the Seattle Kraken again on Wednesday night. That's another 6:30 p.m. start. We'll be on the air with the pregame show at 5 o'clock. All right, YouTube, Trev, we do have some clips from the locker room. Where are we going first, pal?
Yeah, we're going to see the captain after the huge 4-1 win over the New York Islanders. Here is Connor McDavid.
Yeah, Chris got it. It's exciting for him. First win in the NHL. It's been a long road for him, so well deserved.
How was it for you guys, just dealing with the emotions of the old staff going, new staff coming in? How did it kind of ride that roller coaster for you guys?
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of days. Obviously, it's been crazy 48 hours, but unfortunately, something that we've gone through before, and we've responded the same way. So that's obviously a good sign, I guess.
It wasn't necessarily perfect, Connor, but you got some goals in the third period. The power play got going. You guys put some offense up. Feels like there were a few remedies there tonight.
Yeah, it was everything that we've been kind of missing. Obviously, special teams were good. We've definitely missed that third period offense. We've been missing that. And I thought Stu played really well. He was there when we needed him.
Was the timeliness of those power play goals maybe more important than anything with them? Getting them in the third period.
Yeah, we always say, our power play always says it's not about how many you get; it's about the ones you do get and the time you get them. And those two, obviously, in a big moment for our group, was good.
Might sound strange considering how much you've scored in your career here, but when you go this many games for yourself not scoring, is it a relief even for a guy like you who's used to scoring so much?
Yeah, it's nice to see one go in. Obviously guys, offensive guys like to score goals, and I'm no different.
With Chris coming in here, this is really short notice. Probably doesn't want to overdo it with information and such today. How do you think he handled himself, just considering the short turnaround and what he put on you and the tone that he set?
Yeah, I thought, he was calm. Came in and was his calm self. Didn't give us too much. Just kind of let guys go out and play, and we'll work through the details of his system as we go. Obviously, can't do it all in one morning skate, so I thought he did a great job under the circumstances.
First winning streak of the year. You just feel like you can maybe start to build on something finally.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. Obviously put together a good stretch. You got to go one game at a time, and that's what we're focused on.
I know it's a long time since he has been your coach. You acknowledged that this morning, but what's the best trait maybe of Chris Noblock as a coach, do you think, if you could remember that far back?
That's a good question. Obviously, it's very different, junior hockey to the pro level. It's very different. I would say his one trait that always sticks out to me is just his calm presence. I think you guys are going to see that as you get to know him. He's a calming voice, and that could be good in an environment like this.
What did you see from Leon tonight? What have you kind of seen from him as he's trying to work his way through finding his game, and what did you see tonight?
We're all trying to work through our games here. I thought he competed hard. For him, it always starts with work. Well, for anybody, it starts with work, and I thought he did a great job of getting up and down the ice, winning battles, making plays like he can. Not many better than him when he's on.
All right, there's Connor McDavid talking about his team's 4-1 victory. Offensive guy, nice to get back on the board. He scored tonight. Wasn't the prettiest, but it went in, and that's all that matters. The Oilers getting their first win under head coach Chris Noblock. All right, you can text us if you want to slide any in before we wrap things up tonight. 780-218-9999. Nasty Chat's been going pretty good all day long. Nice to see. Let's go to the player of the game now. Brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent, top producing realtor in the Edmonton area and among Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven, he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram page at Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube, Trev. All right, buddy, take it away. Player of the game.
Take it away. How's it going, everyone? We got a player of a game to announce tonight, and we got an honorable mention to Stu. He was pretty good. Honorable mentions 2 nights in a row. He was lights out aside from the first goal, the first squeaker that he let in. But aside from that, he was pretty rock solid. Just pretty stable all night long. Looked positionally sound. Gage referred to it all night long, so it was good. But player of the game is Leon Draisaitl. 4-point performance for him. 1 goal, 3 assists. I mean, the one pass to get his captain off the schneid. I mean, they don't get any better than that, Tommy. Like, I was like, I seen like he was looking, and I was like, what is he doing? Who's gonna, of course, right to Connor. It couldn't have been. It was hard and it was precise, and so it was nice to see. He was and he was skating better than I've seen him skate in recent
Yeah.
memory. He's got such a heavy stride, and when he really gets going, there's really no stopping Leon Draisaitl. So he was lights out tonight. Pretty quiet. Like it is crazy. 4 points. I've seen him. It was a quiet 4-point night. At the end of the night, I was like, oh, he had 4 points. So, but that being said, he still did stand out where it mattered most. +2. So that's great. 2 power play points. And then the goal was good too. So Leon Draisaitl, he is absolutely positivity. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to say the word. Your Damon Bunting game changer, player of the game.
It's there. You go.
Positivity.
You want to do game
Oh my
changers
gosh.
now?
Oh
boy.
my lord, we're good.
Yeah.
Good start there. Rough stretch. Yikes. My bad.
Yeah,
guys.
you crashed and burned on that landing, baby. I'm just kidding. I'm teasing you. Good job, Trev. Leon Draisaitl, the Damon Bunting player of the game. Damon Bunting Remax Elite. Check them out, damonbunting.com or Damon Bunting Real Estate if you're looking to buy or sell a home. All right. That pretty much does it for the Oil Stream postgame show. Why can't Gazzola be more like Lloyd Braun? I don't know. I'm just me, man. I'm just me. That's from Thomas M. And Justin Hammy adds, Nurse looked the best he's looked in a while. All right. That's good. Lance Kane says, stick with it, YouTube, Trev. So encouragement there from Lance. Great stuff. People asking if that's a Trapper's helmet. Yes, there's a couple of Trapper's helmets. I got to rearrange this background. That's my next task. The dog is ready for a walk. Her ears perked up because she's been cooped up, been good all night as a co-host. And so we'll wrap things up. The Oilers with a 4-1 victory over the New York Islanders. That's back-to-back wins for the first time this season. Nice to see, especially for their new coach. It's been a tumultuous few days. It's been a tumultuous couple of weeks in Oil Country. Chris Noblock gets his first win as head coach of the Edmonton Oilers. We'll try to make it to on Wednesday when the Seattle Kraken come to town. That game goes 6:30 p.m. We're on the air with the Oil Stream pregame show at 5 o'clock. And that'll wrap things up here on the Oil Stream postgame show for YouTube, Trev, and Joaquin Gage. I'm Tom Gazzola saying thanks for tuning in. Smash the thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on our audio stream or the TuneIn app, we appreciate you as always. So that'll do it. For all of us here at EST, ciao for now. We'll talk to you tomorrow.